Wellness Wednesday, middle of the week.
What's Wellness Wednesday mean?
Wellness Wednesday means that I go out of my way to give a little tip of wellness to my current clients or just anybody in general.
Okay. What was your tip today?
My tip today was to make sure
Share it.
you are not afraid of change.
What kind of change?
Any change. Some people in life often try to think that change is something that you can avoid or they become afraid of it, when in reality it's the only thing in life that remains constant.
It's change.
So just make a change,
Right.
whatever that change is.
All right. Well, build off of that, my friend. I know you had something to add to that.
Change. I mean, change is necessary. You have to evolve. We would not be where we are as human beings, as adults, as professionals, if we don't evolve. You must change in order to develop into the person that you desire to be. Change is necessary if you desire to acquire or to conquer or to overcome anything that seems contrary to where you want to be. So change is a wellness tip, because in order for you to be holistically well, you need to constantly, consistently, progressively change. Don't revert back. We need you going forward. So change is necessary.
I respect the sermon.
Oh, I got one laid out tonight.
That's a good sermon, brother. So, how do you enable people to change? What's your philosophy?
You can't.
Share some.
So I have as you guys know, I'm co-owner of a hair salon, Nate Jackson Salon and Day Spa. Please make your appointments. We're at 7242 Frankfort Avenue in the Mayfair section of Philadelphia. Phone number is 215-333-0960. So you guys can go ahead and book your appointments for that. However, I do not believe that you can make people change. God can't even make you change. I don't care what God you believe in. Your own God can't even make you change. So change has to be something that an individual decides to do. You have to make a decision to change. You have to decide that I'm going to evolve into this new being, this new person that I desire to be. So I have a structure and a philosophy when hiring people at the salon. I tell even the applicants that I said, okay, I need your application filled out and I need to know your references, but I'm going to call them, but that's not ultimately what's going to make the decision. The decision is going to be who you are. I don't need to know where you went to school. I don't need to know, where you worked. That's important from a business standpoint for me doing my due diligence, but it's not important because I need my other staff members to work with you, not your degree. They need to work with you. So trying to make somebody change, and I want all the business people watching me, you do not have enough time and resources to change a human being.
You should say that again.
You do not have enough time and resources to change a human being. You don't have it. So if somebody has made up in their mind that they're going to still go down the wrong path, that they're still going to make stupid decisions. Now, what I do as a profession is coaching people and instructing them. So I know this for hands-on experience. I cannot make you come to the session when I made it $25 when everybody else is paying me $250. And you still won't come to the session and it's $25? Something wrong. Something wrong. So you can't make people change.
A session or something.
Yes. So, that's my, my point on, change and making people change. You can't make anybody change. Okay, you got to plant the seed. And then I don't like keep planting seeds. I want to plant, water, and see it grow. I'm not that kind of person. So if you want to have I had to put up a Facebook Live the other day and said, I was telling people, do you need help or do you need a parrot? You want somebody to talk to? I'm not the person for you to come talk to. I'm not here to be your psychologist. I'm not here to talk to you.
I am.
You are. But I'm here to give you instruction to get you to the next level. Do you want to get out of where you are, or do you want to wander and squallow and wander and wallow in where you are to the point that you're just bathing in it? You like being in the pit of shit. You like being in it. You're enjoying that. I'm not the person for you to come and just have a conversation with, as far as if you're approaching me that you want to do something new in your life, or you want to evolve into a new person, or you want to go to a new career. You don't come to a coach to have a conversation like that. Oh, I just want to talk about it. No. No, we're going to strategically lay out a plan so you can execute where you need to go. That's my spiel. You know. What do you feel?
I'm gonna let Dr. Iris.
I think I agree, but at the same time, for me, I guess with my clients, I like to explore with them. It's the mental health professional, social worker background in me. I'm going to explore as to why you still in that, shit pit. Like, why you still down there? Why? What's going on? Is this pattern behavior? Where can we stop this? How can we stop this?
Right.
How can we move forward?
But even in that, they got to make a decision, right?
They do have to decide to make that change. That's 100%. That's where I 100% agree, because you can't force somebody.
We can't
to
see.
make
I got to
change.
turn it around so y'all can see.
Hello. You
Lady
can't
Iris.
force anyone to make a change. So they really have to be willing. You can't help somebody who doesn't want to be helped.
That's right.
I mean, they may think they want to be helped, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're at that readiness level
That's right.
for change and help.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
Makes sense.
Absolutely.
I'll agree without adding any flavor to it. I have my own approach. I believe maybe I will add some to it. I believe when people are at a point where they come to you,
Make sure you share the feed, please.
that it's almost your responsibility to be available. It's that human aspect of that nurturing piece, even though no one would say I'm a huge nurturer in any means. But if you come to me in a professional sense, rather it be for, people call it coaching. I don't know what I call it at this point. I'm not going to call it coaching, no. If it's a business standpoint and I'm in a position as a consultant and I hear a bunch of things that really trickle down into your life and from your life into your business, it's all the same thing at that point. But really, I am here to listen. I'm here to listen so I can help figure out what you're not saying, mix it in with what you are saying, and give you a solid solution or provide a solution to you that hopefully benefits you in what you're doing. Many times you run into these relationships in a business setting, as you know, as a consultant, and the only thing in a person's way is themselves. It's like that with 95% of situations.
95, that's right.
It's not money, it's not expertise, it's not resources, it's not tools. It's themselves. And that's why I sort of shy away from saying, no, I don't want to listen. Like, I do want to hear it. I want you to tell me everything you got. Because within that explanation, there's 55 things that you're not saying, but you are saying with your body language, you're saying with your experiences, but you're not plucking out those things that are really affecting you. You know, if you work 20 hours a day and your husband, your wife is saying to you, I don't have any time with you, now you're arguing, and it's this and that and this and that, and you're less effective at what you do during your day when you're talking to me, well, you probably should fix that problem because hopefully it's not going anywhere. You've got to work at that like you have to work at your business. So in that scenario, it's a work-life balance conversation. But why don't you have a work-life balance? Because
should be no balance.
Your execution is off. Your strategy is off. How you operate day to day could be off. Are you spending too much time doing things that you can outsource, that you can hire someone else to do? Are you afraid to invest that money so you can invest time in your relationship? These things are all everyday problems. They're very common. I've heard them more than 50% of my relationships. It's just you're in your own way, and sometimes you need that person not only to be a soundboard, but also to provide some insight into where you are and why you're there. And people pay you for that. People
Well, yeah,
pay you
but
for that
see, my thing is that I just know just just you got to know who you're called to, right? You got to know who your market, your target market is. Know who your client or your customer is. And my client and customer at this stage of my life is not a consultant client anymore. I'm not at the place where I want to waste my energy spit and win talking to you and for you to go out and do nothing. I don't want to do that. I'm a young man, but I'm on a mission, and I got somewhere to be very quick, and I don't have time to sit up and waste spit and win. You done did that with all your girlfriends and boyfriends. You done sat around with them Negroes and people all this time and talk to them and produce nothing. You don't have to come pay me $25, $125, $250, $600 to come tell me the same you done told somebody else. Don't waste my time. My time is to get you from point A to point B. My time is not to sit here and to run my trap, to give you all my good energy for you to do nothing.
So let me ask you, where is your point A and point B?
So point A was exactly is where you are. So wherever you are, okay, so we go from where you are. So this is where I'm at. Okay, fine. Now where do you want to go? Here. Now let's strategize a plan for you to get there. I'm not about to sit here and just talk to you, do all this work, and then you do no execution. There's a problem. I'm looking for people who want to execute. People who say, I'm sick of my life, I'm ready to change it immediately. Not somebody, well, I'm going to make that move in 6 months. What the hell? What? See, some people you're slowing yourself down, like being in your own way. You're literally slowing yourself down. Some of you watching on Facebook Live and Instagram Live and all that, and Instagram, I guess, or Facebook over here, you know what the problem is? You're in your own way by way of slowing yourself down. Well, I got to make sure everything is in a row. Everything got to be in order. And you're going nowhere. And you wonder why there's no support. There's no support because you're going nowhere. Why do I need to support you and your ass is standing in the same space you were standing at 3 months ago? What am I supporting? So that's the mindset. So my whole thing is basically, just individuals, and I mean from the first time they open their mouth. If I look at you and I see you're unfocused, there's nothing else for us to talk about. Because you're not even going to respect my energy. Most people won't respect my energy. It's too high. The vibration is so high that it's either going to shut you down, offend you, or you're going to be like, I'm just not ready for this. I need individuals that are like, let's go. I'm ready to hit it. I got to get this done. I need to get that done. That's fine. Now, that individual, we can work through your problems and your issues because you're taking action. But if you're going to just come talk to me the way spit and win, I don't have time for that.
So, going along with that, who is your target client? Who is your ideal
Well, my ideal customer, and I actually just wrote this down the other day. That's fantastic. Thank you. So my ideal client or customer is an individual or a corporation that is looking to scale, grow, or to transform their business, their idea, their concept. So by transform, grow, or scale it, or even establish it. If it's a startup, I want to help you get started as far as your filings, your business plan, your structure, where you should be aiming as far as a brand, as far as an identity, like as a company. In my new book I wrote something down called Legacy Plan. I asked a couple questions. One of the questions was that, will this idea be relevant 3 years from now? There are so many trends that your idea may not be relevant 3 years from now. You can't just start creating stuff because it's relevant today and not tomorrow. Now, granted, if it's going to make you $100 million in the next 6 months, go for it. But if it's not, run. Leave it alone. Put it on a piece of paper and leave it alone till you have enough money where you can just play in it or something like that. But my dear customer is any individual company that wants to grow, scale their business through active change, immediate, massive action and change. You want to take their brand to the next level, grow their company, start their organization, whatever the case may be. So that's my ideal client.
So, share the name of this book. Tell us about it.
The book is called The Access Code. I was giving it away for free. It was free on my site for about a week. I was only supposed to give it away free for 2 days, but I'm generous. I want to help as many people as I can. My goal is to help 5,000 people, so I did write a book, and I did make it available free so as many people could download it. But, people don't want free. They don't want paid stuff to pay for. People don't want to change their life. It's a problem. But the book is called The Access Code. The Access Code. And you can get it on Amazon and on Kindle. It's $10 on Amazon, and it is $3 on Kindle. And I think if you buy the book version, you get the Kindle version for $1, something like that. Whatever, it doesn't matter. The book is going to make money. but it's not my main source of income, so I'm not really that concerned about it. But I want you to get the book for the knowledge, and for you to get the book for the strategies that I'm given in the book for you to achieve your goals and your success. A lot of you are slowed down, like I said earlier, because you are in the way. You are in the way of your progress. You're not taking action. You're allowing what other people have done and how they did it to slow you down. There's a problem there. I tell people, when you have the inspiration, that's when you need to take off.
I hear that.
When you are most, if you are inspired right now to bake a goddamn cake and you ain't never baked one before, go bake the cake. Because in that moment, you're going to give 100%.
You're speaking my philosophy.
I told this is what we said the other day. I said, that's what I'm talking about. If it's in the inspiration moments. Like right now, I'm inspired to do this show. But if I didn't feel like doing it, my ass be out of here. You know why? Because you wouldn't get enough. You'd be like, what's wrong today, bro? You're not here. You don't want that. So you have to execute inside of the inspiration. Somebody need to, Keisha, you on here, write that down. You have to execute inside of the inspiration.
I'm going to write that down.
Hey, Keisha.
Okay? Everybody saying hi to Keisha. So you have to write that. So you guys have to understand that. So when you are inspired, okay, this is the moment when you're inspired. This is the place where you're like, look, I'm about to get this done. I feel good. Do it. No money, no education about it, no experience with it. Do it. Just go ahead and get it done and get over it. Just do it. Half-ass, halfway planned it out. Not sure if you got all the materials right. Not sure if you brought eggs, but you got milk and flour. Make the damn cake. I don't care. You have got to learn that in order for you to develop a habit of success, you've got to develop a habit of action.
I like it.
You can't have a habit of success if you don't have a habit of action. Success is not going to just happen. It's in the book. It says success happens in my daily routine. But guess what? There's another book that says success is intentional. Nobody just wakes up today and says, I'm successful. No. Success is like, I am guaranteeing that I'm going to make this work. I'm guaranteeing that this is going to happen. Not, oh, here's the business plan. The business is just going to materialize. It's not going to happen. You have got to do something in order for it to happen. You cannot sit along. And I put a quote up earlier on Facebook that you like that said, you can't keep telling the same sad-ass story over and over again. When are you going to take action in order to change your life? So you have got to take action. Your life requires action. Every day you get up, brush your teeth, wash your behind, action. It takes action. Your success is going to require action.
I think a big piece of that is what people define success to be. I think that's very individually based, depending on your upbringing, depending on your environment, your surroundings, the average of the
Your desire, right?
You surround yourself with, like, success is individually based. So I think that that's something that people should look into more when they think about what success means to them and actually define it for themselves. And is that something that they define themselves, or is it something that the environment defined for them or their upbringing defined for them? When it comes to success, I think that if you feel successful in what you're doing, then that's cool. But if the majority of people around you are just looking at you and you're kind of average, then that means that you might have to step your game up a bit. You might have to keep pushing forward. So it really truly depends on, like, what your definition of success is.
Yeah, and I believe it goes with your goals. I mean, your goals are going to define what success is, because if your goal is to start a business but you never started, then there's a failure there because you never got started. But if you wake up in the morning, you get up, you go to work, and that's your goal, and you are achieving that, you are successful. You see what I'm saying?
I agree.
So what I'm saying is that if you say I have all these aspirations and goals, but you never take action, unsuccessful. But if you have these actions and goals, even if it's just maintaining your job, maintaining your household, being a good wife, being a good husband, being a great mother, being a great father, whatever the case may be, if you are executing that, see, that's the key, executing action, then you are successful. We're all successful sitting in this room to this point, and everybody that's watching is successful right now because at some level of today they took action, whether it's even just to get on this Facebook Live, whether it was to brush their teeth, hopefully, wash their behind, hopefully, was it, to go to school, go to work, whatever they did, that's successful. But if you have goals that supersede or outstand your action, that's a problem. That's a failure. Failure is not getting in it, failing in the action. That's not failure.
Maybe that's the problem, is that people are comparing their success with other people rather
Yeah.
than just owning in on what their own goals are and pushing forward.
Right.
Let me stop both of you. Speaking of goals, someone here is going to write an ebook pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to follow in the path that you did, and
It's in the process.
I'd like to hear what the name of this ebook is.
I can't tell you the name. We discussed the
Okay.
name yesterday. I just
Okay.
switched it up.
What's
so.
it about? When can we expect it?
Okay, so the book is essentially my 25 tips on kickstarting your wellness journey. It's essentially 25 things I wish I knew at the start of my wellness journey. For those who don't know me, I am a certified wellness coach, and a few years back I started my own transformation, and so these are all tips that I have compiled that I've given at a cost to my wellness clients with different programs and challenges that they've been a part of, and it's basically just compiled into one ebook. It's 25 tips. I have some great tips in there, so you don't have to waste no time Googling on how to kickstart wellness. I think wellness is a
Give us
trend
a tip.
now.
The most beneficial tip. Go on, lay it on us.
The most beneficial tip. Okay, so they can't see me. Let me pull it back. I actually posted about this. You can check it out on my blog, www.findyourwillwellness.com. That's www.findyourwillwellness.com. And one of the tips is self-love. And so when it comes to wellness, and I talk about that in the ebook as well, and you can find it along my blog, there's components to wellness. It's not just all about what you eat and working out. There's so much more that goes into it that is beneficial for prolonged and permanent results. Not just, I'm going to lose 10 pounds for whatever event coming up. And so self-love is a key factor to that, because if you don't have love for yourself, or if you don't know how to take care of yourself, then you're really not going to maintain the results because you don't care about yourself. So self-love is one of the tips. You can check out my 5 ways to develop self-love. It's up on the blog, www.findyourwillwellness.com. Make sure you subscribe so you can get all the wellness tips, not just physical, nutritional, emotional, all-encompassing holistic wellness. So.
Awesome.
And that'll be out.
Give us a date.
I'm hoping by the end of next month, honestly.
No, let's not hope. Give us a date.
A date?
Here's your calendar right
my
here.
My calendar, yes, that is my calendar there. You can switch it to March there. I'm gonna say by mid-March. What's today? A month?
See, these feeds can't see it.
This is the 8th.
Let me get that.
Can we get a day?
March 15th. Where there's a will, there's a way. Look at that.
Okay.
March 15th. Hold her accountable.
Hold me accountable. I got accountability buddies over here.
That's right. Get it done. No slacking.
Because you're the only one without a book so far.
Oh, I'm not
It's
part
time-
of the
it's
cool
time to-
kids
So give us your
club.
book.
It's time to catch up.
Now let's talk about your book.
Yeah.
I actually was on the way in here, and there's a store around the corner that's called Lotus Compassion. On the front of it, it said "Turning on the Light from Within" or something along the lines. And I thought of your book,
Oh,
"The Light Within Us All."
I hear that. See, Mama Harper said she marked her calendar.
Ah, thanks.
Somebody's gonna hold you accountable. I'm gonna write this down at some point, but since
I'll
she
write
wrote
it down right now.
Oh, okay.
Going on
I was
Google
waiting for
Calendars.
that. Send me an invite.
Everybody an invite.
Just send
Okay,
me an
relationship
invite.
goals here.
No, but yeah, I wrote a book at one point in my life. I really don't even remember the name of it. What's the name of it?
The Light Within,
The Light Within Us All. Life
Life
Lessons Through Self-Discovery. There we go.
Mhm.
She had to help me. But
Got you.
there's 2 more coming out. And at one point, I had agreed with this person that we would drop on the same day. So I can't get mine done by March 15th. But, I can commit to a day for a part 2. March, April, May, June. Give me a month.
You can do it in
Sounds
August.
good. August?
That's
August
enough time.
15th? Can I commit to August 15th?
August 15th, accountability. You guys see this
Part
is
two.
accountability here.
Part 2.
That's an interesting date.
August 15th, The Light Within Us All, Part 2.
The light within us all,
I
part
actually
2.
named it already, but I won't share that today.
I think
There
that's
it
a
is.
perfect date.
There it is. Just like that. See how easy it is to commit to something?
Commit. Now you just got to take action and get
Now
it
you
done.
gotta execute.
Execute.
And apply. There you go.
That's right.
Look
You-
at this team building exercise. No, but seriously, it is very important to be able to not only be true to what you say, but be true to what you want to do.
And hold yourself
For the
accountable.
reasons you want to do it. You know, it's not just important to be a good
That's
talker.
actually a chapter in one of my new books.
What's that?
Be true.
There you go.
This morning, one of my Facebook Lives that I did was on accountability and on environment, and I want to talk a little bit about that tonight. But that's one of the things I talk about. I don't want you to be a liar, so I'm trying to help you not be a liar. And the first person you're
I like
lying
that.
to is to yourself.
I like that.
People don't know that.
I've lied to myself.
I mean, lying to yourself. When are you going to stop lying to you? You know you need to, so everybody that's watching, that's going to watch, you need to apologize to your dreams and your hopes because you lied. You lied. You lied. Oh, I'm going to get it done. Told that dream you was going to make it come true. You told that dream it was going to happen this year. You told it was going to happen last year. You said it was going to happen the year before that, and you still haven't done it because you're lying.
Resolutions coming along.
They suck. People shouldn't do that mess. New Year's resolution. No, make a life resolution that you are going to start taking action. Take action. It's
August
important.
15th. I'm writing this one down.
It's important. So yeah, I want to talk about relationships, but what I wanted to do was more so like by relationships, it was going to develop from this one thing, pain. I think that's a very interesting factor when it comes to relationships. The first relationship that needs to be fixed or corrected or mastered is the one with yourself. As you said, most people don't love themselves. That's why they cannot evolve in their wellness journey, and that's why they have such a rough start as it pertains to them getting well, whether it's physically, mentally, is because they don't love themselves. And pain. I just want to share a tip that I gave someone before when I recognized that they were in pain, but they were not allowing themselves to be in pain. Now, here's the thing. Everybody here has experienced some type of hurt or pain, right? But here's the thing that's going to help you get over it, right? When you are hurt, when you experience a trauma, when you experience some type of pain, you have got to allow yourself the time to be hurt. Pain is meant to be, pain is going to be there, but it's the hurt part we got to get rid of. The pain is all right, but the hurt part, the part that keeps you grieving and keeps you sad and keeps you down and beat down and playing it over and over again in your head, that's the part I want to talk to you about. The steps to removing hurt and getting over the pain is you got to allow it to happen. So this is how you allow it to happen. If you got a boo-hoo crying, cry. If you need to cuss, cuss. If you need, I'm not telling you to go do drugs and overdose. I'm not telling you to do that. But you got to allow the pain to come. We have got to stop trying to fend off emotions. If you're upset, be upset. You understand? If you're frustrated, be frustrated. You got to stop saying, what's that thing, nominate reggae. Stop that mess. Don't do that. Don't do stuff like that. What you need to do is you got to allow yourself to be hurt. If you want to change your life and change your, see, a lot of people watching, okay, a lot of us are facing failures because there is so much bitterness in us because we have not allowed ourselves time to be hurt. That's a problem. You got to identify that. If you have not allowed yourself time to be hurt and you're trying to go on with your life, you're always going to get stopped. And then you get in a new relationship and then that messes up. You know why it messed up? Because you never got over the last one in yourself.
Never healed.
No, you ain't never hurt. Screw the healing. The healing can't come because you never got hurt. You never even said, you hurt me. You never even said, that bothered me, and I just got to just deal with this right now, let it come on out. If I got to cry, if I need to go take a poop, whatever, I don't care, whatever it is. But you have got to allow the emotions to come. You got to embrace them. When I was in high school, I played soccer, and one of the main things they had to teach you was how to greet the ball. You don't stop the ball, you greet the ball. It's like if you ever seen the Mighty Ducks, and they do that little thing with the egg, and they slide. It was a hockey movie, and they slid the egg on the ice, and they would stop it with the stick, and the egg would crack. He said, you don't do that. You have to give with it. Some of you have emotions that you need to give with. If the emotion is pain, baby, be hurt. You need to be hurt. Let the pain come. That's the only way you're going to be able to get over it. You're not going to get over it if you're saying, oh, no, I'm fine, I'm fine. Ain't nobody going to do that to me. Ain't nobody going to bother me. You have not even took the time to be hurt. That's like if it's a laughing moment right now and we just say, stop laughing. You know what's going on inside your body? That's like almost a combustion happening inside of an engine, and there's no way for it to get out, then it explodes. You're trying to hold something in like pain and hurt. In order for you to have good write this down. In order for you to have good, thriving, sustainable relationships, you have got to learn how to welcome, how to embrace, and how to greet your emotions. I don't care if it's lust. I don't care if it's excitement, if it's infatuation, I call it likeage. I don't care what it is. You ever see somebody you like and you like, oh, I'm not going to act like I like them. Something wrong with you. You are holding in emotions that could develop and evolve into something beautiful. And that's one of the main reasons why people's relationships fail. So you have to allow yourself to be hurt. You're watching me. You're looking at me. Allow yourself to be hurt.
I think that's a common thing, though, when people don't allow themselves to express any emotion. You see people walking around talking about, my heart is black, kind of saying.
Yeah, emotional unavailable.
It's almost like I'm emotionally unavailable. Like being emotional is such a taboo thing, or having emotions is such a taboo thing to even talk about, express, especially for men. But, because of culture and gender stereotypes and all of that. But, stupidity. But at the end of the day, I think that we need to embrace the fact, like you said, that we even have emotions. Like, stop trying to walk around and be cool and not have any emotions and say that you're okay and I got a black heart and all of that. You're not cold. You're not hard. Just let it out.
It's especially for men, because what happens is we as men are, by society's dictations, we're supposed to be these macho things that are just not move. We're not machines. A frustration is a byproduct of an emotion. So if you see a man and he's frustrated, there's another emotion. There is actually an emotion back there that is in action here. And that's a problem with me. You think you're a man because you're macho, you haven't cried? You're an idiot. You are an idiot, sir. You think because you don't cry and you don't show nobody that you're weak and you won't expose your failures and your faults, you won't be transparent, you think that makes you more of a man? It makes you an idiot. How do you, this is going to be good. How do you come into the fullness of who you really are as a human being, number one, and then secondly, as a male human being? How do you come into the fullness spiritually, mentally, emotionally, economically, whether it's relationship, whether it's even with yourself internally? How do you come into the fullness of who you are if you can't even express that you hurt? As a man, you can't express that you have pain, that you have discomfort, that you have that this is an obstacle. Look, let me tell you something. In my business, if there is a problem that I can't solve, I sit with the team and I say, I don't know what to do. Because when people look at me, they look at me as like, this guy has all the answers. He just give it to JD. JD, look, there's sometimes I don't know what the hell to do, and I have to be man enough to say, I don't know what to do. Men, by nature, I tell people this all the time, we are fixers, right? I believe that we were created to fix and to solve problems and all that good stuff. But here's the thing. We cannot not allow even that component of who we are to be the factor that brings us down to the point that we can't communicate. It pulls on our ladies. It pulls on our fellas, whatever it is. It pulls on our relationships to the point that people are looking at you like, no, he got it. He's strong. When you really need help. Say these words. If you're a man watching this, say this to yourself: I really do need help. And then find somebody that you can be. Now, I understand, because we men, right? We can talk about this. It's hard for a man to be vulnerable with anybody because here's the dynamics. Every man really wants to be vulnerable, whether it's with his lady, it's with a homeboy, it's with whoever. He wants to be open enough to where he can say, this is bothering me, right? But the fear factor is, watch this, here's the fear factor. If I give you this part of me, if I let you in this door, are you going to misuse it? Now, you have to understand the type of man you're dealing with here. Now, I'm going to talk about myself. I'm a very secretive, private person, period, right? But as a man, what that correlates is to that, I don't deal with a lot of people. So if I tell you something, I've told like 50 other people the same thing, because I'm not going to give one person power over any part of me that feels like, oh, well, he told me that. There's nobody that knows one thing over the other person, because I want to make sure that I'm so open to the point that you can't come for me to the point now you're shooting and I gave you the ammo. If you shooting at me, it's with ammo you had to go find somewhere, because it's nothing that you have over me. So being a private person and being a male, I've understood that, look, if I'm going to be vulnerable with one person, and then my fear is going to be that they're going to tell somebody my vulnerability or my weakness, I might as well just tell everybody. Because if that's my fear, see, this is the part I like. I think people, they probably like about me, but they can't identify as that. I'm willing to just be one way with everybody, right? I'm willing to give myself transparently to everybody. Now, if it's pain, if it's hurt, I just got to let it out and just show you, hey, look, this is a problem. This is, because as men, people want us to have these facades that are killing us. And then now you got men that we don't even develop men anymore. It's a problem. And I ain't talking about sexuality. I'm not talking about mannerisms. I'm talking about in their mental development. It's hard because we looked at granddad and he worked, and we looked at grandma and she supported granddad because he worked. That wasn't a full man. He was a hard working man, yes, but he was not in the totality of who he was supposed to be. In order for us as men to do that, we have got to first get the relationship right with ourselves. Go find out what the fuck you like. Do you like blueberry cookies? Do you like cranberry crackers? Do you like pink? That your favorite color? You have got to identify as a man what you really like. Then you can go out and build a relationship. I don't care if it's in business. If you don't know what your purpose is, what your focus is, what your persuasions are, what your values are, what you believe in, what you don't stand for, that's why I can tell you what clients I don't want to work with, because I am sound on what I want. You right? So if you don't know those things as a woman or as a man, you're going to have a jacked up relationship. Your relationships are always going to end in shambles, because it's just like well, why did that happen? Well, they couldn't get with me. Because you can't get with you. You don't even know what you want. You don't even know what you want. And that's a problem. So what you think, brother? Talk to us. I know people think I'm rambling, but it's just a serious stuff.
No, I hear you. You've been going for so long, I don't know where to go. All I can really say is I don't think you're too far off the mark if you are off at all. I think that it's very easy to get caught up in the macho piece of being a man, or expectations of what you should be, shouldn't be, what you should look like, what you should do, how you should do it, type of deal. Society is built on that currently. I mean, there's, every single thing you watch is telling you what to wear. It's telling you how to walk, how to talk. It's telling you that if you identify with this certain community, this is how you should be. It's showing you that on the radio, showing you that on ads, it's showing you that just pretty much everywhere.
Projecting it, right.
If you identify with a certain amount of people, this is what you should look like, and this is how you should act, and you shouldn't really go outside the box because people won't know how to take it. But with all that, it's very easy to get caught up in that, but it's really easy not to. It's just about being comfortable with yourself, inside yourself, being willing to be who you are in front of all audiences, no matter what, not switching up because you feel you need to or have to. I can identify with that in the same way every day. Anybody watching this feed through me knows I've been the same way. and hopefully getting better, but the same
Right.
character traits, the same morals,
Right.
the same judgment. We all get smarter. We all make mistakes to get wiser. So we've been down that road several times, more times than necessary. But it was,
Right.
There's no such thing as too many times. Everything is for each individual, and just coming up being the same person. Given the same expectations. You say, oh, well, you made $1 million last year. I'm still the same person.
Right.
Maybe I can buy something else, or maybe I can look a little different. But
Right.
at the end of the day, it's the same person every time, all the time. How I treat you is not going to change, and it's demonstrated throughout time. It's a longitudinal study in this relationship. So, the whole man thing, the macho thing, it doesn't really exist. It's like
it's a joke.
It's a facade. It's like some unnecessary expectation that is created for you to fail.
Fail.
You can't keep it up. Somebody's gonna test you one day.
Yeah, and it's going. Yes, brother. It's gonna be over.
Fool.
That's
now,
right.
You could be hard as nails too, and you got to deal with that. I
Right.
mean, at the same time, it's like you just be yourself. You can't fail at being who you are.
Exactly.
You can fail at being who you're not very easily, and I think we all get that. I just don't know that everybody's strong enough to. Everybody's not strong enough to be able to say, "This is who I am," and I don't have to be apologetic about it. It's just who I am, and like I said, I agree and identify with where you were coming from. As young black males, we kind of have
Stigmas.
a lot of things that are given to us for really no reason. We're supposed to sag our pants. We're supposed to have tattoos. We're supposed to go to jail. We're supposed to shoot somebody. We're supposed to have 15 friends die before we're 25 from gang violence.
A bunch of mess.
We're supposed to sell drugs. We're supposed to smoke weed. Like, these are things we're supposed to do. For some
Technically,
reason.
supposed to
And
do.
it doesn't look like anybody else. Like, we're supposed to do that. Just like you have all the rest of the stereotypes that exist for every other race. We just sort of have it differently. And, the deal is you don't have to do anything. Your community may tell you the same thing, but you can also find another community. You don't have to stay with that core group of people that is
Right.
saying do this or do that. The best core group of people are going to say, even if I am doing this, you don't have to do that,
Right.
and we can still be friends. How many friends do I have that do everything that I don't want to be a part of now? We're still friends. We still have the same respect.
Exactly.
Have I done it? Sure.
But
Have I grown out of it? Sure.
Exactly.
And it's like, there's no big deal. It's still a respect thing. I don't treat you any different. I don't look down and say, hey, I was once there and now I'm here. It's the transparency piece. It's like, all right, well, I don't have to agree or disagree with what you're doing at this
Right.
point in your life. It's your life. And as long as we respect each other, the respect stays there. And it stays just as strong. We can be best friends through all of that. And we all understand the consequences that goes with anything in life. If I put my entire life saving into the stock market and fell, I know there was a risk there. If I go to Sugar House tomorrow and do the same thing, I know it was a risk there.
Right.
If I run the streets for 2 days, I know it's probably a risk there. It's
Right.
like you're dealing with a life that has so many built-in risk factors that if you're going to take a risk, take it on your own accord.
Right.
Like you don't have to do it on someone else's merit. You do it on your own. And you do what is best for you and feels most comfortable for you because it was your decision and not someone else's influence that got you there. And again, with the whole man thing, the macho, the bravado type of deal, it's so common and silly. I mean, you can turn on 55 rap songs.
Right.
It's the same thing. And all 55 of those rappers are living in a mansion probably, like not doing any of this stuff because they don't have to. They have the money not to.
Right.
They're still talking about it.
Right.
But they're not being transparent.
Right.
They're in Beverly Hills.
They're not, right.
You're not still doing this.
Right.
You're promoting it, but you're not still doing it.
Right.
And is that lack of transparency while creating a false impression that is probably bad for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But when you just realize that you don't have to be that rapper to be successful. You don't have to have $1 billion to feel good about yourself. You don't have to have the best job to find the best woman that fits you in your life. Like, you don't have to have anything. You just have to have confidence in who you are.
Exactly.
And in yourself.
Awareness,
be happy with where you are. You know, again,
self-love.
You guys talked about success was, you know, characterized by the individual. You guys didn't say that, but that's how I sum it up. And that's very true. It's a matter of where you are in your life. Are you accomplishing your goals? Are you meeting the expectations that you set, not someone else set? Mm-hmm. You know, if I look at Warren Buffett and say, well, he's worth $100 billion and I'm not, that makes me a failure. That's a ridiculous sight to have.
Yes.
You can't tell people that it is if they have that.
Mm-hmm.
You can respect where they're coming from, but at the same time, if it's hurting their quality of life because they think they failed, you got to be kidding me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a real conversation. People really believe that. I mean, people live their lives through other people's lives, and it's like, you know, I'm not Kim Kardashian yet. You know, it's like, wait a minute.
Right.
Do you need to be?
Right,
you know,
exactly.
You know, do you need to be? Can you be you?
Exactly.
And create your own brand? Can you be you and not do the things that maybe she had to do? Or can you make an investment on your own merit? Does it have to be in the stock market? No. Can you be the best poker player in the world? Maybe, I don't know. Whatever your thing is, you find your thing. You don't have to do the thing that someone else did and try to replicate their life.
Right.
A lot of times these things don't just happen. It's your lane.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these people found their lane and what they're good at. They adjusted to it. They studied it. They figured it out. They put a lot of work in. You just see the results of that. And because you see the results, you say, well, I want that. Well, are you willing to give up what they gave up? Do you know what they sacrificed?
Right.
Do you know what they put in? Do you know how many times they failed before they got to where you're observing them? 10 times out of 10, you have no idea how they got there.
Right.
You'll never know. So to be able to base anything off of things that really have no true value, you know, you can't measure them.
Right.
If you can't scale it, it's
There's no
not a
value.
really good model.
That's right.
You know, if you can't measure it, if there's no analytics, no data, it's not a model you can actually follow.
Right.
You can't replicate something that's not scalable.
Right.
And with people's lives, they're often not scalable. You don't know everything that they've gone through to get to be the person they are, to get to where they are now.
Right.
You just know where they are now, and you can't go backwards. And even if they told you 15 stories, it didn't create the person they were in those 15 stories.
Right.
They might have been beneficial, but they're not the whole thing.
Right.
Those 15 other stories that made them who they are, that they don't even recognize that they were the stories that made them who they are. And, you know, it's just like that across pretty much everything in life, rather it's business, rather it's personal, rather it's relationship, whatever your goals are. If you're basing that off of something you think you need to be, should be, saw someday, saw in a movie, heard on the radio, heard on a podcast, wherever you're hearing these things or saying, you know, this is who I want to be, it's not you.
Right.
You're going to be who you're going to be.
Be true, right?
You know, you got to be somewhat engaged in who you are. And that's really all that matters. It's are you happy with yourself? Are you happy with where you are? Are you happy with the quality of life that you can produce?
Right.
You can't be my best.
Exactly.
As a fact, I can't be your worst.
Y'all gotta hold on. I gotta write that down.
Write it down.
I gotta write
It's
that down.
something to.
You can't be my best.
Absolutely. You can only do you. And I share an analogy when I speak to people. I say, you know, when we're talking about expectations, reasonable expectations, I always say, if we took you out of the seat you're in now, if we took you wherever you're watching this live, Instagram, Facebook, we took you right now and planted you into the Summer Olympic Games, running the 100 meters. do you really expect to win that race? Some people might say, yeah, I expect to win. I'm great.
Right.
Whatever the case is. But these people have been practicing for this one race. This 100 meters for their entire life. Your expectation can't be their expectation.
Right.
Even I'd say that was dumb. And I don't say many things are dumb, but that's dumb. Only because there's no way to measure that expectation.
Mm-hmm.
If I come from this chair right now and you drop me into a 100-meter race with Olympians or Olympic athletes who actually had to earn those spots in the world, what can I do? I can do my best. Even if that's finishing 55 seconds slower than a 10-second race,
Right.
I can only do my best. I can't do someone else's best. It's like I can't do somebody else's best. I can only do what I can do because that was my ability.
Mm-hmm.
I can be happy with running the best race that I ran.
Right.
Because I actually did it.
Mm-hmm.
But if I thought I was going to win, what was I basing that off of?
Mm-hmm.
That's like an imaginary measurement that, again, people have when we talk about the gender thing like we were
Mm-hmm.
talking about, or we're talking about business and you want to be Bill Gates. Well, maybe he just caught a really good break. I don't know Bill Gates' life, but I don't base my life and my success off of his achievements either. And the track analogy works for most people because they understand they're not going to win that 100-meter race. And for them to be upset or disappointed about not winning the race is pretty ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
You can only run your race.
I think you're preaching.
I didn't hear a well or anything.
Okay.
But, all I can say is, with everything that we've touched on tonight, it's just about reasonable expectations. I always talk to people about their objectives. What is your objective? If your objective was to be able to pay the bills, and you're paying the bills,
Success.
you're good to go.
Good to go.
If your objective was to build a billion-dollar corporation, and you're working toward it, you're doing pretty good.
Right.
I mean, you can't build it overnight, but
Right.
you can work and make marginal gains or incremental gains along the way. You can have different landmarks that you have for yourself to say, all right, this is where I want to be by this time.
Mm-hmm.
By this time, I want to be here. And this is how. A process, a strategy, a technique,
Mm-hmm.
a soundboard of people who can actually help you get there and say, these 3 steps aren't necessary. Do this. It's being vulnerable in those situations.
Right.
Being able to say, this is what I'm thinking. Is this possible? A lot of people won't say, is this possible? They'll just shelf it and say, I'm going to do it this way. And 10 other people could have told you, well, you could have did it 10 other ways and got way past this point.
Right.
You respect people's own journey, but at the same time, there are better ways or smarter ways to work with almost everything we do in life. So, never rebuild the ship. Just get on.
That's right. You can repaint
there's
it.
an open door somewhere.
Right.
But the point is, you just have to be confident enough to say, this is my best, this is my expertise, this is who I am, this is where I am, this is why I am. I mean, all of these things matter, and after you get that part, the rest of life is pretty simple. You live your life, you run your race,
Mm-hmm.
and you're happy with that.
Right.
It's your race. You make that. Like, if you want to run faster, you go practice for 4 to 8 years for that race.
Right.
But we're talking about getting off the couch, going to the Olympics and
Right.
running 100 meters without as much as a stretch.
Right.
You can't think like that.
Right.
And a lot of people think like that, especially when we talk about owning a business. And you say, I want to start this business tomorrow. And 2 years from now, you've made no money. What'd you think? Is it possible? Sure. But did you think you were going to be an instant success because it was on your mind?
Because it was on your mind.
It's not working like
You laying them on me, brother? Did you think, okay, that you would be an overnight success because it was on your mind?
I mean, it's been in songs, it's been a lot of things, but let's be realistic. What's my reasonable expectation? if you can always come up with a reasonable expectation and an objective to base that on, and look at the work you've done or the work that you're prepared to do, align it with action, you'll figure it out. Like, it won't be that difficult. But until then, it probably just, what was the quote you shared?
Which one?
The one you said I liked? Because until you get ready to do that stuff, you're pretty
I
much
mean,
at
like,
quote.
I forget what it says. How many times, I said, when are you going to, I forget what it says. When are you going to get tired of telling the same sad-ass story
There
before
you
you
go.
decide to get up and do something? People tell, I'll be like, oh my God, what is, like, you not tired of telling the same story? Some of you are not tired of saying the same thing. Well, I don't have no support. And Johnny was supposed to give me $500 this week, and that, I'm just going to say, that bitch ain't never paid me my money. And then they ain't never helped me out with this. And that, how many times you going to say the same thing before you decide to change your life? How many times are you going to just repeat the offense over? That's why we talked about pain earlier. How many times are you going to just repeat the pain over in your head? You're replaying and replaying and replaying and replaying like a retarded person until you're going to say, you know what? I have decided not to be here anymore. Like, I'm deciding to move from here. Like, I'm not going to be here no more.
Right.
Like, when you come back, I won't be here. That's what some of y'all need to say to your debt, to your bills, to your some of your old spouses. When you come back this time, I won't be here. I'm not going to be here.
That. As simple as that.
I'm not going to be here. And then you start making the small steps to not be there.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
That's all we're saying.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
But
We're trying to help the people.
But because we're done saying, and we're out of time, I'll just say thank you for tuning into the Opt to Serve radio show.
Thank you,
Your
guys.
host, Tyrone Robinson, here with the J Demetrius Barker, trillionaire,
Thank you.
a.k.a. My Advice Guide. Also here with the Iris Mendez. What is it? LCSW? Is that it?
LSW,
Oh.
not the C yet.
LMNOP, QRSTUV, haircut done by Hairbiz, aka V Smalls, appointment only. You can find all of us on our websites. Mine is opportunities2serve.com, OPPORTUNITIES, the number 2, serve, SERVE.com. And where is your?
You guys can find me online on every social media site. You can find me on the web, on Google. My name is J Demetrius Barker. J, just the letter J. Demetrius Barker. My website is myadviceguide.com. So if it's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, please check out my YouTube page and please subscribe to the channel. My Advice Guy. myadviceguy.com. Whatever you want to look, just type it in. I'll pop up. I've done SEO very well, so I'm pretty sure I'll show up somewhere.
And I'm Iris, and you can find me at www.findyourwillwellness.com. You can email me at findyourwill@gmail. Follow me on Instagram at findyourwillwellness. I'm on Twitter, findyourwill1, and LinkedIn, Periscope, all that. What else am I
I
missing?
feel like since this guy mentioned Google, I just really want to say this. Google me.
That's right. Google us.
Tyrone M. Robinson III.
Thanks,
The
guys.
whole page will probably be.
Findyourwillwellness.com.
But again, thanks for tuning in. Next week we're gonna have Casey, I believe, is up next week. Yeah, we've got a full lineup coming up. My boy Joe Miller has committed to March 15th. I'll say this now. I didn't tell him this, but I'd like an in-studio live audience. So if you want to come up, let me know now. We've got about 7 seats, maybe 9. Maybe we fit 15 in here. It's about 15.
Yeah. We can do
Let
about
me know.
15 people.
March 15th, 6 p.m. If you want to come be in the studio, reserve your seat now. And with that, we're out of here.
Thank you, guys. See you later. Bye now.